Hey guys, welcome to my 2,000 subscribers Q&A. I had quite a few questions, so thank you very much to everyone who has put one up for me. Really appreciate all the questions, guys. And it shouldn't be too long. I don't think it's going to be like on the epicness that Plutonic just did his. I haven't got as many questions, I don't think. Or, well, I don't know. There's quite a few. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, get comfortable. Got my cup of tea. Priority. That's good. Right, okay, so before I begin, a couple of things I want to do before I start this Q&A. And the first one is for Plutonic's benefit after watching his Q&As. I just wanted to show these. So you got Boss, which is Push, and the absolutely fantastic 5-star Silk and Steel, which is a truly classic album. So that probably won't mean anything to anyone who hasn't seen Plutonic's videos, but I just thought I'd show them off. And anyone that collects action figures, I've just found this in my collection as well, Masters of the Universe, which is really cool. Look at that, fantastic, Adam on the back. Right, so that's that anyway. That's just something random I thought of. Next thing I want to do is a shout out, and I've not done a shout out in ages, mainly because we have that thing on our channel now where we can promote channels. But as a guy just starting out on YouTube who I think is absolutely brilliant, he's only got a few videos up, but what he's putting up is excellent quality, and he's just a really friendly guy, a really nice dude, and I want to promote him some more because I think he needs a lot more people over there checking out his videos. And his name is oldskoolbrian. Now go and check him out, guys. He's absolutely brilliant. As I say, he's one of those guys that as soon as you put the video on, it's like total. For me, when I watch a video for the first time, within the first couple of seconds, I can tell if I'm going to subscribe to somebody because there's that connection. There's that something that they put across on video, whereby straight away you're interested in what they're saying. It doesn't matter what they're talking about. If it's something you're not interested in, they make you interested by the way that they promote themselves and the way they come across. And he's absolutely excellent. Really, really nice guy to chat with as well, and has a fantastic collection. He's got so much stuff, it's just unreal. So yeah, please go and check him out, guys. I'll put a link in the bar below in the description. So yeah, go and check out oldskoolbrian because you won't be disappointed. He's excellent. Right, okay, so on to the questions. And first question is from Pump Videos. Now, Pump Videos is asking two questions. First question, does anyone say you remind them of Carl Pilkington of the Ricky Gervais show? Honestly, mate, no, I've never heard that before. And it's not someone I've ever thought of. I don't really think I do, to be honest, but I mean, if you think that, then yeah, fair enough. Question number two, what is your favourite current gen developer and why? Now, honestly, growing up, developers and publishers and all that, I didn't have a clue. I mean, only really this generation is where I've actually paid attention and taken notice of who develops the games and who publishes the games and the differences and who's a good developer, who's a bad developer. Now, it's probably going to be a cliche, but for me personally, being a big Sony fan, not being a fanboy by any means, not at all, because I love Nintendo as well. But for me personally, it's going to have to be Naughty Dog, just because Uncharted is so amazing. That game alone is just, hands down, in my opinion, the best game of this generation. In fact, Uncharted 2, I've said before, is probably one of my, if not my favourite game of all time. It's just everything you could ever want in a game and more. You know, the graphics, the music, you know, the score's phenomenal. The acting, the character design, the level design, just everything is absolutely superb in that game. And so I think if they was to start a new franchise, straight away I'd be really interested to see what they're going to come up with, because they have that level of quality they've established. And yeah, I just really like Naughty Dog a lot. I'm just trying to think of anybody else that I think is an absolutely amazing developer at the moment. Obviously Bungie, I mean, yeah, it's always debatable because not everyone likes the Halo franchise. Me personally, I think it's fantastic. There's been a couple of, Halo 3 was not that great. I know some people disagree, but that's fine. I just personally didn't think it was very good, it was bland. But yeah, I mean, after Reach, I think Bungie really put their stamp on it and said, like, we can do it right, we just couldn't be arsed the last two games. But okay, right, next question. I'm just going to sorry about this, I've just had a reminder from my antivirus. So, postpone that. There you go, I want to restart the computer, pain in the arse. Right, next question is from Jigglypuff Girl. That's a Pokemon reference, isn't it? I think that's right. I'm not a Pokemon fan, so I think it is. What are your collecting aspirations and what games do you still need? Ooh, that's an interesting question. Aspirations. I think basically the only one I'd really say I've got aspirations for is the Super Nintendo collection, because that is the priority for me. And I'm not aspiring to go for a full collection, because I think there's like 7,500 games that were released in the US, and quite frankly that's never going to happen, because that's just a ridiculous amount of games. Plus there's a lot of crap, a lot of sports titles, a lot of just rubbish that's just not worth owning at all. And so I just want to really, I've always had a target of sort of like just a nice, good sized collection. Whether that be like 200 games or something, I'm not too sure yet. But I don't want to go for like a massive amount of games. I'll just really, more than anything, I want to get the key titles, the Mario titles, the Street Fighter titles, the Final Fights. You know, like the games like the Metroid, Donkey Kong Country. I've got quite a few already. But I want to get like those top tier titles that everyone associates with the Super Nintendo. Once I've got those, I'll be really happy, and anything else, I'll just, you know, just buy what I see, and if anything's good, I'll pick it up. I mean, I have been anyway. I've been picking up the odd title here and there, just because they've been interesting. And there's a lot of games I have no clue about on the Super Nintendo that I've never seen before, and every day I'm finding a new game that's looking interesting and I want to buy. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I've got aspirations for anything other than the Super Nintendo. And the Super Nintendo in itself is one of those systems whereby I love it to bits, but I could never go for a full collection because I'm just not that way inclined. So I just want to get a good sized collection. I've got 58 games so far, which is pretty decent, you know, especially as they're boxed and mint-ish. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Second part of that question from Jigglypuff Girl. Do you collect only Immaculate games, or will any copy of the game do? It depends on the system. Generally I do try and get them as mint as possible on every system, but I'm not as fussed about other systems as much as I am the Super Nintendo and the Xbox. The Xbox is a pain because buying from the shops, they're usually used games, and therefore the cases are in shitty condition because they've had stickers all over them from the shops. But the cases can be replaced, so as long as the artwork's in perfect condition, the manuals and the discs are in as good a condition as I can get them. Because obviously the disc is always the issue, because they're always going to be scratched, unfortunately. It's rare that you get one that's unscratched. So I'm a bit lenient with the disc scratching. With Super Nintendo, I like to have them as mint as possible. Hence the reason I pick up sealed games if I can, depending on the price. If I can get a sealed game for a good price, I'm not buying it because it's sealed. I'm buying it because it's in mint condition, and because I can play it and have it in perfect condition for the collection. You know, I absolutely love to have mint condition Super Nintendo games, N64 games. Those boxes just look absolutely brilliant, and they're probably some of the hardest games when you're buying old Nintendo to get mint, because of them being cardboard. They were not looked after very well at all by people, and sometimes people threw the boxes away, which is mental. But yeah, I mean, if it comes to Super Nintendo, yes, absolutely, I want to get them as mint as possible. Xbox, as mint as I can, but you know, discs have to be scratched. There's nothing much I can do about that unless I go on eBay and pay ridiculous prices to get them mint. And every other system, I'm not that bothered, as long as they're reasonable. I mean, saying that, with the Genesis, I do have a stipulation that it has to have the hang tab attached. I hate when people break the hang tab off the box, which can make it difficult to collect for, because there's a lot of games with broken hang tabs. So when you try and find one that has got the hang tab, you end up searching eBay for weeks on end. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Right, next one is a couple of questions, and how do I pronounce that? Officialicy? I think that's right. I hope I got your name right. I do apologise if I haven't. Number one, what were your aspirations as a child, and did you fulfil any of them? Christ. Honestly, I didn't have any. I've never been one of those people that's had a set goal in life, something they want to aspire to, something they want to be, like a fireman, a policeman, a lawyer, or solicitor, should I say. Which, you know, I'm very chilled out. I've never really had anything I wanted to do in my life for some reason. I've never been motivated enough. I just sort of go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. Which, you know, can be good, can be bad. Depends how you look at it. I've never been a guy that wants to work myself into the ground. I want to enjoy life. I don't want to, work is not life to me. Work is a way of making money, and that's all it is. Obviously, you know, it's also good for social life, but essentially work should never be the core thing in your life, because life is too short. And if you're just working, what's the point? If you're not having fun, you're wasting your life. Next question is, what are your favourite games from the current gen consoles? I would have to say, right, we're talking PS3 and Xbox 360, because I'll put the Wii to one side because the Wii's got its own good selection of exclusives. I think 360, exclusive wise, there ain't a lot. I'd say Alan Wake, Halo Reach, yeah, Gears of War 2 maybe. I'm not a massive Gears of War fan, it's an alright game. Gears of War 2 was far superior to Gears of War. Gears of War was crap, there was too many bugs in it. Don't get me wrong, I like the story and I like the gameplay, but there was just too many irritating little bugs that annoyed me. And number 2 is better because they polished the game more. Yeah, I think PS3 exclusives, well, I mean Uncharted 1 and 2, just the best games of this generation, hands down. I can't find anything that beats them. Heavy Rain was just an absolutely amazing game, which just shocked me completely because it's not the kind of game I'd play. The actual mechanics of playing the game with quick time moments are something that I would usually avoid like the plague. However, Heavy Rain just hooked me in, and for 2 days solid I just sat there and played it and I was absolutely addicted. Brilliant. Games, what else is there? Trying to think. Ratchet and Clank games I really like. I'm not very good at them and I get quite bored halfway through because I always get stuck, but they are really, really fun to play. I think cross-platform, GTA 4 obviously, I mean that's just stunning. Saints Row 2 I absolutely loved. I'm a big Saints Row fan. When the first one came out on Xbox I was addicted to it, and Saints Row 2 came out and it just made me laugh so much. It's just completely stupid out there, off its head, ridiculous. It's really good. It's the antidote to GTA, because GTA, as much as I love it, is very serious and it has a bit of comedy, but it takes itself too seriously now. Whereas Saints Row just takes the piss completely and it's just completely ridiculous. And if you've never played a Saints Row game, check them out, especially Saints Row 2, because it's just crazy. The customization is fantastic. Yeah, there's not a lot when it comes to cross-platform that's been really knocking my socks off this generation. I find that a lot of the games, there's too many bugs in them and they're just very generic a lot of the time. They're just knocking out the same old crap because it's easy and because there's such big budgets and such big teams that the publishers insist that the developers knock out the next easy thing, such as the Call of Duty franchise. It's like the same thing every year, just reskinned, and it's only because they can make a lot of money off it, because they know a lot of people will buy it just to play multiplayer, or because they're casual gamers and they don't know any better. I probably shouldn't have said that, but it's true. I'm not very impressed with a lot of the games. It's been a bit of a disappointing generation. Exclusives, it's great, but cross-platform, it's very weak. I think the Wii is a really strange console. For the first years of its life, Nintendo didn't care about the gamers that put Nintendo where they are in their position, and they forgot about us. They had the odd game here and there, but there was nothing like stellar titles every time. Near the end of its life now, because obviously the new system's about to be announced in 4 weeks' time, they are starting to put out a lot more games, and I'm finding some real gems. Mario Galaxy, of course, Super Mario, the new one, New Super Mario Brothers, was an absolutely fantastic game. I've just played the Conduit one, which was absolutely stunning and seriously underrated. That game is just brilliant, so much fun, loved it. What else have I forgot on the Wii? Oh yeah, the Batman and Robin game, I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember the title. The Batman and Robin game was really fun. It was a really old school fighting game, my kind of scrolling beat 'em up, and I love that, but it was a really, really fun game. I've still got a few to play on the Wii that I want to check out. I still want to get Mario Galaxy 2, I still want to get Kirby's Epic Yarn. I've still got Metroid Other M to play. I've got Red Steel 2 to play. Just playing Conduit 2. Yeah, I'll give you my opinions on that later on. But yeah, I think the Wii is an interesting system. It has got some stellar titles. I mean, Donkey Kong Country Returns is another one. Absolutely quality title. So yeah, I mean, that gives you a kind of overview of what kind of games I enjoy, I think. So I hope that answers your question. And what have we got next? How did you fare in your education, and did it affect your success in life? Did you ever temporarily quit? Oh, that's the next question. Sorry, I just realised there's no question mark. Sorry. So yeah, how did you fare in your education, and did it affect your success in life? When I was just at school, my education was crap. I failed everything basically. I only passed English because English was the only lesson I cared about, because I used to write stories and I used to really enjoy that, and it was something I could really get involved in. Other than that, I just didn't bother really at school. It was completely my fault. I didn't apply myself like I should have, and therefore we have GCSEs. I don't know if they even still do those. I assume they do, but I failed all my GCSEs really badly, and I didn't obviously go for A levels and things like that. I went to college after that, but I don't think college in the UK is the same as the US. So I don't know where you're based. But yeah, it was basically just a DOS around, which means that I come out of school, didn't know what to do in my life, like a lot of my friends. And we went to college, did a random course for no reason at all, just to kill some time before we found a job. And so it hasn't really affected me in my education. It probably has, in the respect that had I got a better education and actually applied myself, I would have got more results. I'd have done better in life and I'd have got a better job. But then, as I said earlier, I don't want to work myself into the ground. I don't like living my life for work. To me, work is to make money and that's all it's for. You know, you could argue that obviously the better education you have, the more money you make. But then money's not the be all and end all. Money's just there for necessity in one respect, because obviously you have to pay bills. But after you've paid your bills, the rest of the money is just basically to make your life comfortable. It should never be an essential thing whereby you want to have millions and millions of pounds, because what's the point really? You can't spend it. And once you've bought all the things you want to buy, all the nice things, what are you going to do with the money? You go travelling around the world, but then you've still got loads of money left. So I think more importantly, family and friends and, you know, enjoying life is much more important. As long as you're comfortable financially, don't work yourself to death. That's my philosophy. And the last part is, did you ever temporarily quit gaming or think about quitting? And that's a good question. I have on several occasions thought about quitting. I've never actually done it. Ever since I started as a child, I've always gamed until this point. It's been more this generation I've felt like quitting, because I've got fed up with the games because of the way they're developed, with the bugs, the way that lazy developments such as throwing waves and waves of enemies at you constantly and just making you really frustrated at dying constantly, because they don't seem to realise that that's not how you make a game difficult. It just makes the game annoying as hell, and it slows the pace of the game, and the gamer gets fed up and switches the game off and doesn't complete the game. Now to me that's dumb. You should have a nice pace so that you can get through the game and enjoy it. And then you have difficulty level settings so that if somebody wants to play on the hardest setting possible to get that achievement, they can do so. But for people like me who just enjoy the storylines and want to play through the game, it gets frustrating as hell when you're constantly getting hammered by multiple enemies that you just can't seem to get through, and you just want to throw the controller through the TV. So yeah, but I've never ever quit, because every time that happens, I then play another game which makes me just go, this is why I love gaming. It happened recently, and it was after playing Homefront. I just felt completely frustrated and completely like, what is going on? This generation of gaming is just going to crap here. Why are people developing shit games like this? And then I played the comms bit on the Wii, and it changed my mind, because I was like, this is why I game, because you can have a fun, exciting game, which is nothing original, but it's just fun. It's just great to just run around blasting aliens, and it was just a really well made game. So yeah, I have thought about it, but I'll never do it, because I just love gaming too much, and I get too excited every time a new bit of tech comes out. The new Nintendo console's going to be announced in 4 weeks' time. I'm buying one. You know, I don't care what they do with it. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but I'm going to buy one. I think a lot of people will. So yeah, I love gaming. And how long have we go? Oh, okay. I'm going to try and make these. I don't know how long these videos are going to take, but I won't go over half an hour per part, because otherwise it'd be too long for people to watch. Next question is from Darrow85. Alright, mate. Might be a bit too late now, but here goes nothing. No, you're fine. 3 questions, and question number 1. If there was an old series from the 16-bit era, or whatnot, you would like to see remade or revived into this generation, what would it be and why? Okay, I'll try to stick with me too. So we're talking 16-bit era games. What would I like to see remade or revived in this generation, and what would it be and why? Right, now 16-bit generation, you're talking a hell of a lot of games. I've always said I would like to see the Super Star Wars games on SNES redone. I think that'd be fantastic. Either HD versions on the Wii Virtual Console. Well, that wouldn't work. You know what I mean? On the play. I can't believe we just said that. Oh, maybe on the next Nintendo console, that'd be HD. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, HD versions either on the next Nintendo console or on the 360 Xbox Live Arcade or the PSN when it's back up. Yeah, that would be really, really cool. Because I think the Super Star Wars games are fantastically made. Most Star Wars games are usually good fun, but I like those old school 2D platform run and guns. You know, they're like sort of like easy Gunstar Hero games in a way. They were really, really fun. Other than that, what else would be really good to be remade? Let's see what happens when you don't read the questions in advance. Oh, that is a tough one. I mean, there's one game in particular, and rumour has it, it will be coming out for the next Nintendo system. It's going to be made by Retro Studios, who did Donkey Kong Country Returns, and that is going to be a new Star Fox game, a proper Star Fox game. None of that Miyamoto getting out your ship crap. proper Star Fox. Now, if that's true, then that would be the one. I'd be so happy to see a brand new Star Fox title. Completely new universe, fully fleshed out, proper space combat. That would be excellent. So yeah, I'm going to go with Star Fox. Question number 2. Are there any games that have been cancelled over the years you would have liked to see released so you can play them? Now there's an interesting question, because as it happens, I've been looking at one recently. In fact, I've been looking around it for a while, but I've never been able to really justify the money. But I'm very tempted still, and that is another Star Fox game. It is Star Fox 2, which was cancelled and was to be released on Super Nintendo. And a few years ago now, someone released the beta code, and then further on, someone released the full game. And the full game is out there as a reproduction cartridge, and it is quite expensive when you try and find it, but I would absolutely love to own that. And people are reproducing boxes, especially made custom boxes for it as well, with a custom made instruction manual to make it just that little bit better and have that completeness to it. And there is a guy on eBay I'm talking to at the moment who makes boxes, and he's apparently going to be getting copies of the game this week. NTSC American versions, and I assume PAL, because he does boxes for both. Now he wants a lot of money for it. I'm not too sure if I can really justify it at the moment. I might have to wait, but I'm very tempted, because I've only seen the odd screenshot. I don't think I've ever watched any video, because I've tried to avoid it, because I want to be completely fresh when I play it for myself. But yeah, Star Fox 2 is one I would really, really like to have for the collection, because that game, I'm just a massive Star Fox fan. I think it'd be brilliant. Number 3, what games were you anticipating in one way or another that ended up being disappointing? I could have a list here. I would say not so much anticipating, because I wasn't expecting a lot from it until I played the demo, which then made me anticipate the full game, would be Killzone 3. I really enjoyed the demo. After Killzone 2 I got annoyed because I couldn't play it because of the crap controls, and so I wasn't expecting number 3 to be any good. And then I played the demo and I was really impressed. I was like, the tighten the controls up, the game looked fun, it was great. And when I played the full game, God, it was crap. It was so crap. It was the most generic, boring sci-fi shooter I've ever played in my life. I hated every minute of it. So yeah, definitely Killzone 3 was one of the biggest disappointments in recent times. There have always been plenty of games. It's always the case that games get hyped, and you're caught up in that moment, and you're like, oh man, that looks amazing, I can't wait to play that game, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And then you play it and it's like, oh my god, this is broken. And it's really disappointing. And yeah, it happens more than it should, is what I'm going to say, especially this generation. I think Sony and Microsoft, whether it's because they're corporate companies or not, I just feel that their level of quality is very low. They'll allow any old crap to be released. And it's Alex Blue78 was saying the same thing. It's a case of they just throw it out the door because they've got a deadline, they've got a lot of money behind it, they've got a lot of marketing. And so it's throw it out the door, oh sorry guys, it's broken, have an update. I'm frustrated, I'm fed up every time I buy a PlayStation 3 game, that every single time, if I buy a game on launch, I'll come home, unwrap it, put it in the PlayStation, what's the first thing it does? You need to download an update. Why? What the hell, man? Why is the game not complete already? I'm fed up with that shit. If it's multiplayer, I don't give a toss about multiplayer. So if it's multiplayer, I should have the option to say, no, I don't want to download it. You should at least be able to download it in the background, and all that's another annoying thing. Sony need to sort that shit out. And then after that, you always get the thing with Sony, not every game, but some games, you spend like half an hour downloading the bloody update, and then you spend another hour while it's pissing about installing onto the hard drive. It's like, come on. That annoys the crap out of me. So yeah, I like the Wii in a way, because the Wii you don't get none of that rubbish. You put the disc in, press your button, play the game. That's how it should be. Now, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah. Right, next question. What time have we got? Okay, I'll make this the last one. I'll wrap this up for part 1. Okay, this one's coming from Matt D28. Hi Pete, what are your thoughts on the Call of Duty series? Great question, mate. Okay, any fanboys, I do apologise. My opinion on the Call of Duty franchise is that basically it's brain dead. To me, it's the case, as I said earlier, for casual gamers and hardcore multiplayer gamers. Now, hardcore multiplayer gamers, fine, I'll put you over there. That's fine if that's the thing you're into, and a lot of people are. And I know a lot of people who are hardcore multiplayer Call of Duty fans are also proper gamers who play a variety of different genres. So that's fine. But you obviously have this casual Nintendo Wii market whereby these people buy a 360 or a PS3 because their friends have it, And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like they just seem to think that because Call of Duty comes out every year, they have to buy it to keep up with their friends, to play multiplayer and all that. And they don't seem to like expand their horizons and try a variety of games. I've had discussions with people where they've looked at me funny because I'm playing Epic Mickey on the Wii. And it's like, yeah, I'm playing Epic Mickey, but then I'll play like Halo, I'll play Call of Duty, I'll play Uncharted, I'll play The Conduit, I'll play Mario Galaxy. You know, I like a variety. I don't see the point in that pigeonholing yourself into one genre, especially with Call of Duty, because me personally, I'm a single player gamer, always will be, always have been, never gonna get into multiplayer because I just don't see the point in it at all. It's the same thing every time, it's just different maps and different weapons. It's essentially, it's always some kind of capture the flag, some kind of deathmatch or team deathmatch. Bores the shit out of me, if I'm honest. And you know, people are probably sitting there watching this video going, oh, I bet it's because you're crap when you die. You're absolutely right, I am crap, and I do die a lot. I didn't on Call of Duty 2, I was much better at Call of Duty 2. The modern ones, you don't get a chance to learn, you just basically, everyone's hardcore from day one, so as soon as you go on there, you get your head kicked in and you just die constantly. It's die spawn, die spawn. Boring as shit, that is. But me personally, I've never been a fan of multiplayer in general. I just don't think it's been handled well, and I think personally the single player is the most important experience because that's what I'm paying my £40 for, or if you're American, you're $60 for. And so Call of Duty for me has really lost its way in the last few years. Call of Duty 2 is an absolutely fantastic game. The single player is very basic when you look at it now, but it's still a really, really fun title to play through. The more evolved ones from Modern Warfare onwards, they've just lost their way. They're just so generic and boring. It's the same crap every year. I just think first-person shooters in general have gotten boring. There's no real originality, you know, and it's like, I'm kind of in two minds because on one side I'm like, I really am fed up with first-person shooters. I don't want to play any more of them because they are just the same thing every time reskinned. But then on another side of things, sometimes you'll get a game like Halo Reach or The Conduit, which is not doing absolutely nothing original, but just have that fun element where you can just run around and just gun everything down, and they just feel nice. They don't feel overcomplicated. You're not dying constantly. You know, you're progressing nicely and smoothly through the game. I just find Call of Duty to be complete shit, to be honest. I'm not actually going to buy any more Call of Duties. Modern Warfare 3 just had the trailers come out, and I wasn't even going to look at that. And then a couple of days ago, I thought, oh, go on, I'll have a quick look. Trailers were crap. It doesn't show anything. It's pointless. But it's just going to be the same shit. Modern Warfare 2 is the biggest waste of money, the biggest waste of plastic I've ever had. Utter crap. I mean, you're talking like, about a 5-hour game, a really crap story. The gameplay was boring. They just threw it out the door. They threw a bit of controversy in with that horrendous level where you're killing innocent people. You know, you don't have to kill them, fair enough, but I just thought the shock value was pointless. I hate when they do that, just to get in the media, just to sell the game. If you can't make a proper game, don't make it at all. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty. I think it's crap. I think it's just basically lazy gaming, lazy development, and it's just along the same lines as FIFA, Madden, all of those generic every year games. I don't criticise anyone for playing them. If you want to play them, great, and if you get enjoyment out of them, that's all that matters, because that's what gaming should be. It should be enjoyment and fun. Me personally, as a gamer, and as someone who's been playing for a long time, I don't see the point in Call of Duty. I would much rather buy a good platformer or a fighting game or an adventure game, something a bit more in depth, something that's going to interest me. And maybe that's a maturity thing as you get older. You like the stories, you like to get involved with the characters more. You're not so much just picking up the game and just blasting away, and then, you know, a couple of hours later, that's it, you're done. That's just my opinion. I'm not a Call of Duty fan. Right, next part. Matt says, did you like Black Ops and were you buying Modern Warfare 3? Black Ops, initially, like all Call of Duty games, I played through the campaign, I was like, that was absolutely amazing. But I never went back to it because it really wasn't that amazing. At the time, it was like, oh, that was awesome. And then you just I went like back to it for about 5 minutes, had a quick couple of missions here, there and everywhere, and it was just like, yeah, it really, when you start looking at the nitty gritty of how you break it down, it looks nice, but it really is just another Call of Duty. I find it hard to put into words. There's nothing there, there's no substance to the game at all. It's just another generic first-person shooter. When you look at games such as the upcoming Rage by id Software, they seem to be really trying something different with the AI and trying to push the envelope because it's id, and they are brilliant and they make great first-person shooters. They are the pretty much forebearers of first-person shooters You know, I mean, I know there were games before Wolfenstein 3D, but Wolfenstein 3D is always considered as the most commercially viable, the first one that really opened people's eyes to the genre. And it's, you know, they've gone on to great things, you know, Doom, Quake. They're absolutely an awesome company. And so I do think Rage is going to be excellent. Likewise, there's a game called Body Count that's coming out, which you know, the guy that made Black on the last generation, which was a stunning game, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I am at the point now where I just don't care about first-person shooters, and I want to see some originality and try something different. You know, you get a game like Heavy Rain comes out, now that's a big risk really, because in this current climate, they have big teams, lots of money, massive budgets. They've got to recoup their money. I understand that, so they want to make generic games because it's an easy way of getting the money back. And so for a company like Quantic to come out, was it Quantic Dream, I think that's what they're called, to come out and make Heavy Rain was a hell of a risk because it might not have sold well. It's not the kind of game that most casual mainstream gamers are going to be that bothered about. It's more of a niche title, one of those word of mouth games where people are like, oh, that game's amazing, you've got to check that out. And it might intrigue you to have a look at it, and it was stunning. It really is one of the best games I've played in a long time. It was my game of 2010 without doubt. So yeah, I'm not really that arsed about Modern Warfare 3. Don't get me wrong, when it comes out I might take a look at it, but at the moment I'm not willing to put money on it. I don't think it's worth it. I wouldn't give you a fiver for it at this point. Okay guys, well that was the end of part 1, because otherwise it's gone forever. So thank you for watching part 1, and hopefully I'll see you back for part 2.